could find it, John, and send it to you. It'd be very, very interesting article to read. The sun's out here, by the way. I don't know what it is. I think it's about 15 or 16 degrees. I hope it stays out because I've got the grass to cut today, and it's too wet at the moment, but that'll be a job for later in the day. GW3TMP to G3YPZ.
Yep.
Fascinating, John. If only we had the time to, well, you know, if we had 24 hours in our day and we had nothing else to do, it would be brilliant. GW3TMP replying to G3YPZ. Yeah, same effect on your signal. You were coming up then just, well, about 5 dB over 9 on the meter here. And you had dropped down during your over, so we're getting the same propagation both ways, and it's very, very interesting indeed. So there we are, John. I think I'd better, well, you've got work to do. I think I'd better make a move. I do want to go out first of all, get one or two things from the shop, and then when the grass is dry enough, I'll get starting on that. It was a horrible day yesterday. It really was terrible. And I'm just hoping the grass is dry enough to cut. It just doesn't cut as well if it's, you know, if it's wet. It sort of tears at it. So hopefully I'll get that done today. But the forecast, I think, for the next day or two is pretty good. But tomorrow, I've got to go into Chester tomorrow, take the car into Chester. I had a warning come up with the ABF that stopped working the other day and told not to drive it anyway. I did drive it back home. I've spoken to the dealership and they seem to know what the problem is. So I've got to take that in tomorrow, but not at sketch time anyway. It will be later in the day. Always something, John. Anyway, you have a good day. Good luck with the writing there. And back to you, G3YPZ, GW3TMP.
Okay, John, G3YPZ from GW3TMP. Yeah, nice signal coming up to about an S6 at the moment. And yeah, really good path between us, so we could work on one band or another any time of the day by looks of it. And yeah, the cost, well, I don't know, they haven't given me any idea about the cost of the repair, but it won't be cheap. But it does have to be done, and I can tell there's a problem. As soon as it happened, I pulled in and I rang the dealership, and they said, what colour is it? There was a triangle come up on the dash, and they said, what colour is it? I said, well, it looks like amber. So the young lady said, oh, well, as long as it's not red, she said, you can drive back home slowly. So I haven't driven it since, but I will have to drive it tomorrow into Chester. But yeah, cost-wise, well, wait and see. Yeah, I got the MRI done Saturday. That was a long procedure, an hour and a half in there. I was in agony. And I won't get the result for a few weeks now, about 3 weeks I think, but it wasn't a pleasant experience, believe me. And I was frozen. Apparently they pumped cold air into the place. And when I came out, one of the radiographers said, I said, I was shivering in there. She said, oh, you should have told us, we've covered you up with a blanket. We'll do that next time. I said, I hope there isn't a next time. G3YPZ, GW3TMP. Yeah, understood, John, understood. Yeah, they were doing that. Well, it was a radio broadcast that they were doing. And I have had these scans before, but this machine is relatively new. At the cost of £1 million. But it was a lot quieter than the other ones I've been in. Anyway, there we are, job done, and just got to wait. It was a full spinal scan, it was, from neck down to base of the spine, so that's why it took so long, John. Yeah, fine, everything noted, of course, John, GW3TMP for a final. Yeah, well, if we weren't getting into the SDR, well, yeah, maybe Steve wasn't on if he didn't see his signal. probably had to go out or, something at the last minute. But, yeah, I got the 240, 210 and 1, I think it was, I put down. So, yeah, the flux level was certainly, it's strange, isn't it? It is, you'd look at those figures and think, oh, yeah, we'll make it. But, so on the puzzle goes. Yeah, I get these pins and needles down my arm, into my fingers, and when I'm keying, sometimes all of a sudden, I'll get pins and needles in my fingertips, and apologies for dots and dashes at the wrong place, but they just come, no warning at all, and the ends of my fingers go dead at the time the feeling goes, so. But I still try, I still do work CW, of course, and I'm determined to keep working it, but it is a bit of an annoyance. Thanks for the 8, John. Yeah, you'd come up there, you were a good 6 anyway. I think this X-meter's pretty good on calibration. I did check it a few years ago with a signal generator, and I know X9 is near enough 50 microvolts. It does drop off a little bit as you go lower, but I'm copying you, that's the main thing. Anyway, thanks for the chat, always interesting. Have a good day then with writing the VHF column, and we'll hook up again in the morning, all being well, John. G3YPZ, GW3TMP signing, and briefly listening, then closing down. Bye-bye, John.